Welcome to the short video series which will introduce you to APIs. My name is Valentin Despa, and in this video you will learn how to use an API. If you've missed the previous video on what is an API, make sure you click the notification icon or check the video description. Now let's get started with the tutorial. Without knowing it, you are using APIs most of the time when sending a WhatsApp message, when you ask Alexa a question, or when a software tool informs you about the newest version that was released and asks you to install the update. APIs are so widespread and used for various purposes, making it hard to give a meaningful definition. I think it is best to stop talking about APIs and start using an API so that you can get some hands-on experience. And this is exactly what we're going to do right now. Below this video, you will find the video description. In there, you should see a link pointing you to the jobs available at Postman. So this is the web interface where you can see which jobs are available at Postman. You can click on an individual job and get more details about it, how to apply, which are the requirements, and so on. Now, let's imagine that you want to build your own app and you need to use this data somewhere. For that, you need to have access to the API. While not all websites have an API, this one does. Now, in order to know how to use an API, you need to read the API documentation, and for that, you will also find a link in the video description. Now, this is the Postman Jobs API documentation. It tells you what kind of data is available, how you can reach it, and so on. Now, this is a very simple API, and it's ideal for just getting started with this. So you're going to see here an example. So I'm going to right-click on this. A new tab will open up. And what you will get here is JSON. And this is essentially the data that is available in regards to the jobs. This is a bit hard to read, as you can see right now. So I wanted to show you a better tool. Go to postman.com and sign up for an account. After going through the initial setup, you should see something like this. This is Postman the app. And Postman allows us to send API requests. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the address that I previously had. Open up a tab here, which is pretty similar to how you do it in a regular browser. Make sure not to add any spaces or any new lines after this, and click on Send. Now what you're getting here is a list of jobs. Postman automatically detected that your request contains some query parameters, and you will see here listed under query params, and it allows you to change them if you need to, or to enable or disable them. I'm going to play with them in a bit. Essentially, in the upper part of the screen is where you control all the aspects of your request. Postman is essentially like a browser on steroids. It allows you to configure a lot of technical things in regards to your request. In this case, we have here the query parameters, we have here the address, you can set up headers or send a body. So there are many aspects of the request that you can control with Postman. Now in the lower part here, you will see the response that's coming back from the server. Now what's important about the response is to look here at the status. Now essentially the status is telling you if everything went okay, and in this case it's going to tell you 200 okay, or if something didn't work as expected, it's going to give you a different status. Now 200 okay means that everything was okay, and here you will see the response body, and this is formatted as JSON, and technically speaking, this looks like this, but Postman understands that this is JSON and displays this nice view, which allows you to take a look at the data to actually understand what's going on with this data. You'll see here, this is the list of jobs. So you'll find here the title of the job. Each job has an identifier. You will see when this job was created, which is the location of this job, and so on. So you can go job with job and inspect this data. And this is why Postman is such a useful tool. It allows you to create this request, send them to the API, and then take a look at the response and to understand how the API is working. It generally allows you to build complex requests, which normally you cannot do from a browser. Now, Postman is what professionals use for API development and testing. And this is why I also wanted to show you this tool, because it's so easy to use, and especially for beginners, you will have a much pleasant experience understanding how APIs work if you use Postman. So let me exemplify how easy it is to control these parameters. Now, these parameters allow you to send some additional data to the API. As I mentioned, you can enable and disable them. So simply clicking on this will not send this location parameter, and you will see here it disappears from the address as well. But I can also replace here remote with, for example, San Francisco. And I want you to notice I'm typing here, but Postman automatically changes the address as well. And again, makes our life in terms of working with these parameters much easier. It's also important the way you write these parameters. For example, here, if I'm writing locations, it's not the same as location. I'm gonna get here remote location, so the parameter where I specified here San Francisco will be essentially ignored. The same goes if I'm writing here L, the capital L. This is not the same. So again, I'm gonna get a different kind of data here. So the way you write this query parameters, and generally any kind of parameters in Postman really does matter. Now let's jump back to the API documentation and to see if there's anything else that we can do with this API. You'll notice here this concept of endpoints. And we'll see here a status endpoint, we'll see a list of jobs, and we'll also see get a single job. So what essentially these endpoints do is to give us a different view on the data that is available. So for example here, /jobs, this is what we've been using so far with some query parameters, which are optional, is to get essentially all the jobs that are available. And we can also specify some criteria if you want to. But there's also the possibility of getting a single job. And there's an example here on how we can get a single job. So I'm going to simply copy this address that we see here, and go back in Postman, open a new tab, paste this here. And I also need the first part of the address where the API is. I'm gonna paste that there. So now we have first part of the request, and then this is the second part, which is the endpoint pointing us to only a specific job. This is a job ID. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on send. And now if we're taking a look at the response, we'll see here that we're getting 404 not found. Now 404 not found is something that you also see when you're browsing the internet, when it says page not found or something similar. The idea is the same. Essentially, we have instructed Postman to get this information for us, this specific job. Postman has sent this information to the API, and the API said, well, I'm sorry, but I don't have any job with this ID. So it means that there is no job. This is what the API is trying to communicate. It's telling us in the status code, 404 not found, we cannot find it, but also seeing here in the response body a more detailed error, there is no job with this ID. So what we need to do is to go to our list of jobs and get a valid ID from the list. I'm going to simply copy the ID of the first job that you see here. And I'm going to replace this segment here, right after the / after jobs. Click on send. And now you'll see 200, and we're getting now detailed information about this job. Now you'll see here that this detailed view also contains its description, so we're getting much more information about the job. It is essentially the same concept as you see here. So on this page, you see a list of all the jobs available. There's no search functionality, but there could be one. And if we're clicking on a specific job, then we're getting more details about the job. We're getting, again, the job title and when it is available, but we are also getting this long description. So this is what I mean by saying that different endpoints give you a different view on the data that is available. You will see here that the API documentation uses this notation here with column job ID. And this is a very useful notation that Postman supports and can make our life in terms of working with these IDs a bit easier. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to replace this here completely. So /jobs / then the ID with /jobs and then column job ID. And as soon as I do this, you will see here another element in our request shows up. And this is Postman trying to be helpful. And Postman has detected, wait a minute, what you have here is something that changes all the time. This is why we call it a path variable. This is something that changes all the time. And instead of you editing this here, I'm going to make your life easier. I'm going to provide you this window and you can edit this here. So again, I'm going to simply copy an ID and put it here. But essentially what Postman does, this is just a placeholder. What Postman does is to replace this with the value that we have specified. So a column job ID is not something that's going to be sent, but it is easier for us. If we have here query parameters, we can easily add them here. If we have path parameters, which are part of the path itself, we can add them here. And you will see now that the request works absolutely the same. So now we have used Postman to understand how this API works, how we can get to the data that we want to use. But if you want to use this API in your application, you need to know a bit of programming. And this programming should be enough to create this HTTP request and to get this data and to display it somehow. Now, for most of you at this stage, this is probably a bit too much. But I still wanted to give you a taste of how it feels like to write your own application, but this time without leaving Postman. I have created here a code snippet that takes the data that's coming from the API and displays it in a table. You will find a link to this in the video description. So I'm simply going to go ahead and copy this, go back to Postman, and go to the first request, which shows here a list of jobs. I'm going to disable here the query parameters. This will allow us to get a longer list of jobs. I'm going to go here in the request to tests, and I'm going to paste this. Now what you see here is code written in JavaScript, which is the programming language that Postman supports. This JavaScript code also contains some HTML, which is needed to display the table. So I'm going to click here on Send. And here on the response, you will see Visualize. If you click on Visualize, you will get back this table. And this is a very, very simple example of how you can use an API. And definitely Postman can do much more. But this simple code allows us to grab this information that's coming back from the API. So we have this raw information here. We take it, and then we use a subset of the data and display it in a different way. So for example, you see here, we only need the job title, the location, and the country. We don't use anything else that's available there. Now, I encourage you to play a bit more with this simple API. Take a look at all the endpoints that are available. Take a look at all the query parameters that you can specify. And try to have a better understanding of what this API does and how you can use the data in Postman. I hope that this tutorial gave you a better understanding of how you can use this API. And in the next video, we'll take a closer look at the underlying protocol called HTTP that most web APIs use.